Hey there! Hello, my dear Virgos, some sort of pedantic, precise Virgos. This is your horoscope for March 2024. Now, let me tell you that March will be a bombastic month. It's an amazing month, and planets are in a very good mood. They are talking to each other in amazing ways, and March will be filled with positive energy. Of course, there will be some hiccups as well that I will tell you in a minute. But nevertheless, March in a most ways are very positive month. And let me remind you, don't forget to check your rising sign and moon sign too. Because do you know that horoscopes are mostly written for rising signs? So if your rising sign is Virgo, that will play out in a huge way in your life. That horoscope, let's say, will resonate with your life more than if your sun is a Virgo, let's say. But I would like to tell you that we are all different. That's why astrology is so such an amazing tool, because each of us, we have three signs. We are comprised of three signs, and our sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign, they all equally important, and they bring all of them bring events into our lives. So check all other two signs, moon sign and your rising sign, aka ascendant. Draw up in your chart, natal chart. Go on Google if you don't know your moon, where was the moon when you were born, and what sign was rising on the horizon when you were born. Just go to Google, and there are like a lot of free resources where you can draw up your natal chart by putting up your time of birth. This is very important, and place of birth and date of birth, and there you go. So don't forget to check those things. Okay, let's begin with March. March will start with North Node meeting up with Chiron in your 8th house. Now, this is amazing conjunction. This conjunction happens only, it happens very rare. That's why I'm mentioning it, and we will feel it for sure. On 5th March, this conjunction will happen to be exact, meaning they will shake hands. Chiron and North Node. North Node, what is it? Like, North Node is a lunar node. They are two. We have two lunar nodes. One is North Node, another one is South Node. And they're always opposite to each other in the natal chart. And if you draw your chart, you can check where is your North Node and where is your South Node. And North Node is another way to call it in astrology is dragon head, and South Node is dragon tail. I love to tell about dragons because last month it was Chinese New Year, and according to Eastern calendar, it's a dragon year, 2024, such a karmic year. And according to numerology, it's a number 8, and number 8, it's eternity. It's a karmic number. Anyhow, coming back to dragons, in astrology, North Node is dragon head, and that is where we should be heading to, and that is where our life is taking us, and that is where our destiny lies. And South Node is our past. It's where what we should be releasing actually in this lifetime, what we should be leaving behind, because we've already made it a professional, that area. That area comes to us that so much easy that we are already incorporated that in our behavior, and we should be mostly releasing that, meaning being aware of some parts of our behavior, of our character, and consciously leaving it behind, especially those that are not working for us anymore, and moving towards our North Node, to dragon ahead, where we should be going to, what we should be learning in this lifetime. Now, this North Node will meet up with Chiron. And by the way, North Node and South Node, they are mathematical points. You cannot see them like on the sky. It's automatically counted in a natal chart, and it's a mathematical points. They are just mathematical points. And Chiron is an asteroid actually. And Chiron in ancient times, in Greek mythology, it was called a healer, a teacher, and it was represented as a mythical creature, half horse, half human. And that sort of he or she, it was a teacher and great healer to heal our wounds. And their meetup is actually happening since already February, when they come that close, astrologically speaking, to influence our lives. So their meetup will influence us from February up until May, including April. So it's like mostly April, finishing in the beginning of May, when they will go apart that far that it will not be anymore such an influence in our life, their meetup. And since February, you might be already feeling their influence, but their handshake, exactly standing at the one point of your natal chart, will happen on 5th of March. We call it exact aspect. It will be on the same degree, same sign on 5th of March. And it will happen in your 8th house. Now, this is amazing house for you to host this too. Why? Because 8th house is the house of health. It's health-related house. It might be that this will be the time of your healing some injuries, especially if you're after like recent surgeries. Those injuries will be healed more faster, more in a right way, and even in a magical way, because 8th house is also house of magic, something that we can't explain. Even actually healing any other sort of sufferings, traumas. It houses childhood traumas, wounds, some sort of hurts, psychologically healing, spiritually, and even physical healing. All sorts of healing might happen here. Considering that actually Mars is the planet, of action, but also it's a planet of drive, but also it's a planet of all cutting and sharp objects like knives. And Mars was last month, meaning February, in your house of health. That actually telling me that you might have gone some surgeries, like cutting some flesh, It does not necessarily mean like something serious. It might be, I don't know, some minor injuries that you've had to go to a hospital and attend to it medically. But in general, those physical injuries might be also healing now with this North Node and Chiron meetup in your 8th house, house of health. 8th house is also, now, I will mention these topics to you, but just so you know that one or two might come up in your life, but not all of them. I hope I'm clear on that. Whatever actually I mention in my horoscopes, it's one or two topics might come up, but not all. And I'm just giving you some areas that it might be touching upon in your life. Now, 8th house is also house of mental and psychological health, as I said, and your woundings could be also now, let's say, much easier, some sufferings, or even gone totally. You might be releasing, you might make a peace with your psychological traumas. 8th house is also house of investments. If you've been investing recently, those investments might give you great returns, like get a great boost actually. Or if you might start investing so that you will improve your financial situation, because 8th house is the financial house as well, one of your financial houses. Another thing, you might get healed some sort of intimacy or sex life issues, because 8th house is our sex life house. Intimacy house, it's some sort of private house. If you had some sort of this kind of issues, now will be the time those issues will be fixed, or some sort of message might come up on this issue. Or even you might go to some massages even that will heal you in this area. Why not, right? Conception is the 8th house ruling. And if you had an idea or plans about having babies, this will be perfect time to do IVF. Amazing time, my dear Virgos. Just do it. My advice, just do it. Or like anything related to your fertility journey, conception journey, like even egg freezes as well. If you are not planning to have babies, but you are thinking about your future, anything related to conception, your fertility journey will be amazing here. So I advise you to do that. And universe is certainly helping you in that with Chiron and your North Node. And also you might get pregnant if you've been already long time in trying. Now will be the time of celebration, my dear Virgos, for you about babies. Babies are coming. Those who are wishing to be parents. Eighth house, as I said, mystical, magical house. Some sort of magical healing might take place, or you might go to these kind of specialists, like, and feel that you are actually cured, like profoundly influenced by this kind of specialists. Hypnosis might be here too, like how they call it, hypnotist, this kind of professionals as well. Financial help, like some sort of governmental funding, bank loans, or if you're student, scholarships, like any sort of government money or non-government money, like not our money that we earn, but the money that comes to you through some institutions or some other people, let's say, or even alimony for our children, for our kid, if you're in that situation, might come up on time now. And if you've been not receiving those things and you've been wishing to receive, now will be the time that you will get that money. Eighth house is also your partner's financial situation, showing your love partners, like your spouse or your long-term partner, not the ones that we just start dating, but those are who we are long with. Their financial situation might get some sort of boost, and might get some improve in some way that will improve also your shared finances, right? And Chiron in general is associated with number 2. Why number 2? Because Chiron, as I said, it's a mythical creature, half horse and half human. It consists of 2 incompatible parts. That's why it's number 2. And the topics that I mentioned for you just now, just incorporating this number 2 in it. It might be your 2 business partners, or it might be 2 financial helps are coming. One is alimony, another like a bank loan, I don't know. Or maybe you will be going to 2 specialists. You will find this kind of specialist who can, or even psychologists, because 8th house is the house of psychology, and you might find 2 psychologists who will help you, who will heal you. And you've been probably doing since February. Or you might get pregnant with twins, my dear Virgos, which I'm happy that if you do so, please let me know in the comments. Let me be happy for you too. Or from 2 like financial instruments, you might get some amazing returns as well. Or some 2 injuries might be healed at the same time. Okay, let's move and talk about our mind. Mercury, planet of communication, planet of, you are masterminds of communication, my dear Virgos, and Mercury is your ruler planet. And Mercury rules all sorts of communication, signing contracts, writing, reading. It's a little postman of our universe that delivers messages. And this postman will change signs right before the new moon appears, a few hours before, on 10th of March, because 10th of March we have new moon, and Mercury will change signs a few hours before that new moon, moving into your 8th house, bringing all the communication to you about the topics actually that I've mentioned when I was telling you about North Node and Chiron. Just before, and also like signing papers. Let's say if you've been like dealing with banks, as 8th house is the banks, or taxes or financial documents. And by the way, your taxes situation might get improved if you've been if you've been having problems with tax returns and these tax authorities. Now situation will get improved. And Mercury here will bring all sorts of papers to sign in these topics. Might be about conception. You might be signing a paper of freezing your eggs, or seeing some specialists, like with psychology, sessions. There is also some documents to sign, right? Maybe you might be actually rewriting the ownership documents for any real estate that you have. Or you might get busy with that, or writing a new, let's say, inheritance paper. It might also happen. Or maybe you will be going actually and talking to your therapist. Mercury is suggesting also here in your 8th house these kind of topics. And if you do have, if you will have papers to sign, I suggest you to do that this month in March, because Mercury will retrograde from 1st April. So do it as early as possible, like let's say before 20th of March. Why? Because Mercury has a shadow period as well. So it's like 10 days before it starts really retrograding, meaning retrograding means like moving slower, moving backwards. And when planets move slower and backwards, they mess up everything. And Mercury being a planet of signing contracts, is better to sign when Mercury is direct, meaning moving in a direct motion, because then it will bring benefits and nothing goes off-road, nothing goes awkward, and the deal will be more likely concrete terms and for the long run. But when Mercury is retrograde and you sign papers, then you will have to somehow redo that contract. Well, anyhow, I will tell you more about that in April, so stay tuned. And being your ruler, Mercury, my dear Virgos, you are affected the most as well. 10th of March, as I said, there is new moon, but it appears in your house of marriages, my dear Virgos. Planets in general, they tell stories, and I'm telling the story of the planets for you, for your month. And new moon coming to your marriage house, wow, that is amazing. And it will happen at 20 degrees of your 7th house. Now, those who are born on 9th of September, plus or minus 5 days, are the most affected by this new moon. All of us will be affected, but those who are born exactly around this 20 degree of your 7th house, meaning born 9th of September, plus or minus 5 days, will be the most under effect. Okay. And that new moon will appear in a very compatible, highly compatible sign, meaning blending with your sign amazingly, harmony sign to yours. And new moon will receive a surprise opportunity from Uranus, which is situated in your 9th house. And Uranus is the planet of surprises. Now, this is amazing, isn't it? Wow, I am in awe. You will love that new moon, my dear Virgos. And just in general, I would like to tell that new moons and full moons, how they act, you don't usually get the information that they bring right on that day when they appear. Only some portion of people will get the information of the new moon exactly on the day they appear, or full moon. It doesn't matter which new moon. All full moons and new moons, they act in the same way. So on 10th of March, only some of us will be getting the news, but most of us, we should allow 10 days, like 5 days before the new moon actually appears and 5 days after. So plus 5 days, minus 5 days. So this 10 days period will be the time when new moon or full moon will be bringing you the message of their message, and like changing the life. And this new moon, receiving the opportunity aspect from surprise planet is making one of a kind, special one, because with Uranus, you never know what to expect. But because it's a highly positive new moon, I will suggest few things that might happen. Again, 1 or 2 might happen in your life, but not all. It depends where we are in our lives, right? Which page. Now, let's see. You will love this new moon. 7th house is a marriage houses. Someone new actually might come into your life, my dear Virgos. If you've been single and hoping It's for those who are single, and that someone might stay actually for long, and that someone most likely will be a foreigner or foreign nationality, or like a speaking different actually language than yours. You might get wed actually, you might get proposed all of a sudden on this new moon. Also, it might be like, oh, let's get married, and then it might also happen this kind of offer, or even your partner might deliver some news of something new happening in their life, because new moons are all about new things, new beginnings, new stories, new chapters. And it might be that if you're already married, if you're already in a stable relationship, and a long one, because seventh house is about long relationships, it might be that your hubby or wifey, they will have something new happening in their life, and that will be quite shocking, positively shocking, positively surprising, and you will love the news that they will bring. What I want to say, like a new job, for example, or a new opportunity. Some sort of like a actually new thing happening in their life. And seventh house is the house of contractual agreements. You might really sign a contract out of the blue, actually. And that contract will involve with the foreign, let's say, company, or foreign things, like foreign documents. Seventh house is also not only our love partners, it's our business partners. Now, you are the workaholics of the zodiac. And you are known for your work people kind of character. So you might end up having an offer actually for a new partnership, new collaboration, or new client. If it's not a new job, then it might be a new client all of a sudden out of the blue, because with Uranus, it's a surprise planet. So you never know. Especially, that work will be involved with, let's say, in the big corporations, big companies, those who are like international, foreign, who has many offices, that has many branches as well, or subsidiaries. Some surprise travel might be in store for you as well, especially with your sweetheart, steady partner, long-term partner, your spouse, because Uranus situated in your travel house, and it might be a surprise travel. But just so you know that I would like to tell you one hiccup with this new moon, and in general with the month of March. First half of March, Uranus, surprise planet, will not be like talking and even arguing with Mars, planet of wars, planet of actually action, and it's quite a sharp and strong aspect. Now they will be somehow in a disagreement first half of March up until 18th, I think, and they are exact, like, let's say, climax, like, let's say, the argument when they will happen on 9th of March, right before this sweet new moon will happen. And the thing is that Mars will be transiting exactly the house where last month on 9th of February new moon appeared, and that new moon was not sweet at all, because at that new moon surprise planet made a harsh aspect to that new moon, and that's why we all got some surprising and even upsetting news around that new moon, plus or minus 5 days. So it means from 1st February up until 15th of February, we had not a good news coming up, each of us. And Mars moving exactly that area of your chart will, on 9th of March, will come and stand at exactly that degree that new moon appeared on 9th of March, activating it. Whatever Mars touches in our natal charts, like in the charts, it activates it in a realistic, materialistic way that possible. So it might be that those of you who think that, oh, I didn't get any messages, I was lucky, and I mean in general nothing happened, Now the news might come up to you now. It might be that way too. Of course, I wouldn't wish you that thing happen, but still, Mars is activating exactly that degree of that new moon that happened on 9th of February, and it might be the news of that new moon. So go check the forecast for the last month of February, to know more about that new moon, what kind of messages I was listing for you, my dear Virgos, if you would like to know more. And it might actually involve about a foreign client. So that at this new moon in March, 10th of March, some sort of like a mixed news will be coming. But the new moon of 10th of March is so sweet that I'm more than sure that nothing will, mess your mood around this new moon happening in your marriage house, love house. Let's move to love. Speaking about love, Venus, planet of love, planet of beauty, planet of money, on 11th of March will move into your, guess where? Love house. Your 7th house. That will be amazing, actually. It's always amazing to host Venus, planet of love, here, because it is exalted in this sign that happens to be your 7th house, love house. Exalted meaning, when planets are in certain houses, in certain signs, they are feeling themselves amazing. They can show their best qualities. They bring to you their best qualities, and you are feeling perfect. And Venus moving into your 7th house, exactly the sign it is exalted. It is amazing. Now, on the 11th of March onwards, house of marriages, partnerships, long-term love is activated for you, my dear Virgos. Your relationships might get softer, kind of, with a partner, especially having Saturn. It's a strict teacher here in your 7th house, teaching you lots of lessons and stressing you here. I get you guys. I mean, you've been on a rough patch, and it was not easy, and it's not easy since Saturn is here. But don't worry, guys. Next year, Saturn will move out from your love house, and it will be much easier. But Venus coming into your love house, making it more softer, finally, for you, for time being. And Saturn is here for whole year, just FYI. This is where, when we feel the love of our partners, and actually even enemies, because 7th house is the house of enemies as well, that we know face to face. And those enemies will find us so attractive as well when Venus is in our 7th house. Business partnerships. If you don't have any love in your life, let's say you don't have spouse, you don't have a long-term partner, and you're single and you are all busy with your business, then it's about business partnerships. Venus will bring money, because it's the planet of money as well, to your business partnerships from 11th of March onwards. Sun, giver of life, light of our universe, will move into your financial house on 20th of March, illuminating your shared resources, your finances, investments if you have them or you are planning to have them, or even inheritances. For some Virgos, it might be inheritances, might be even a health checkup, because 8th house is the house of health. You might go for a medical checkup. And 20th of March happened to be a day of spring equinox. It's the day when we have same amount of daylight and nightlight. So they will be at the same length. And after 20th of March, we will be getting more daylight, which is amazing. Summer is coming, finally. I love summer personally. Okay, moving next to Mars, planet of action, planet of drive. Mars shows where we put our efforts in the natal chart. And on 23rd of March, Mars will move into your love house, 7th house, bringing more activity to your marriage life if you're married. And for those who are married, it will be more active time, like maybe going together to concert or doing some sport together. Mars being a planet of wars, it might also bring a bit of arguments, But looking at your chart, I feel that because Venus is also here in your 7th house, love planet in your love house, marriage house, so it might be that it will be much how to say, easier for you to navigate it, whatever arguments could pop up here because of Mars, and Venus will make it much softer. Or some Virgos might be getting ready for a wedding actively after 23rd of March. Also, if it's not about love, if you again don't have anyone in your life in terms of love partners, love relationships, then it's about business partnership. You will be quite busy finding business partners and all sorts of agreements, contractual agreements, making it happen. Now, March will be wrapping up with eclipse, first eclipse of 2024. On 25th of March, we have full moon lunar eclipse. Now, eclipses have, they have 10 power of 10 full moons, not only one. And eclipses, they are, they bring, I will make a video about eclipses where I'll tell you more, but I would like you to mention here that eclipses, they act as elevators of the universe. They lift us up to where we should be already. Otherwise, without them, we would be getting there in 10 or 5 years with our human mind. And eclipses, they lift us all of a sudden. They change the situation, how it should be going. They bring the situation forward into our plate. And that's it, to deal with it. And this eclipse will be amazingly positive, my dear Virgos, for you. And if new moons and full moons, as I said, they tell the stories within 10 days, 5 days before, 5 days after new moon appears or full moon appears. But eclipses, they tell the stories 3 months before and 3 months after, meaning in the period of 6 months in between when they appear, they will be bringing the news of their news to your life. Some of us will be getting right on that day eclipse happens, 25th of March. Some of us might be already getting it in the period of 3 months before it appears and 3 months after it appears. And this eclipse will be happening at 5 degrees in your financial house. Now, that is a huge and amazing eclipse, which will happen in your house of earned money, in your house of income. And those Virgos who are born around 25th of August, on 25th of August, plus or minus 5 days, will be feeling this eclipse the most. But all of us will feel eclipse because eclipses are, as I said, as strong as 10 full moons. They have the power to move the mountains. But most of those who will be feeling it quite directly are those who are born 25th of August, plus or minus 5 days. And that eclipse will be hugely supported by Pluto, such a karmic planet, such a planet of transformation. The key word here is transformation, which will be situated in your house of work, house of health. And this eclipse will appear in your income house. Now this I call bingo. This is like amazing for you, my dear Virgos. I'm so happy for you. Please let me know what will be actually the message of this eclipse. What was the message of this eclipse? Please let me know. Those who already got the message. Now, let me tell you a few things that might happen with this eclipse. What could be the message of this eclipse? And again, 1 or 2 things might come up, but not all. It depends where we are in our lives, right? Okay, let's begin. 2nd house, you might receive a bonus. Like, not just a bonus, but 10 bonuses. It's a big money, like huge money. So for the work you've done, because 2nd house is the house of earned income, earned money. What you do, that's what you get, right? So you will get here amazing bonus, my dear Virgo. Some of you guys will for sure get it, or even better, receive an offer for a job. Some of you guys will receive an offer for a job with high position, like very influential position, with amazing good salary. And even those who work for like a commission or services on service agreement, you will get your bonus even more. And that job offer will be for a long time. I mean, if you will accept it, you probably will stay at that company or at that position for a long time, because Pluto is not a joke planet. It's making that amazing support to this eclipse, and it will make it last, the message of this eclipse. Some of you, it could be, it could be just simply that your pet, dog or cat, let's say, find in an amazing way a money or treasure underneath for you. It might also happen. Or you might, because Pluto is positioned in the sixth house, and the sixth house is actually, and the second house and sixth house, both of them, they are about resources. Sixth house is our eating habits, and second house is any type of resources like food. This is another resource, right? Energy that we have, another resources, and even tangible resources. Like, I don't know, again, this like kind of food, nutrition. You might stop eating something at this full moon, because full moon is all about, they're like a big projector, like they're big, a bulb of light. They show something in your life. They put a light there so big that it's impossible not to pay attention to that. Or eclipses, full moons, they are about closures, because it's becoming full, it's becoming finishing, like on the finish line. So it might be stop eating something, like, let's say, eliminating fast food, because you might be reevaluating your health. Or it might be that you start going to gym, also possible, and that habit will be for a long haul, my dear Virgos. You are actually geeks of eating healthy and healthy lifestyle, but this eclipse will again point out to that for you guys and make it more, even more obvious to you. Eating different food might appear. Another thing, second house is the house of expensive things, material things. So you might receive expensive gift, especially from your colleagues or from someone at work, who would value you and who would give you a gift. Now, this was your horoscope for March, my dear Virgos. I wish you the best March possible, and it seems like planets are working hard to bring it to you. Bye bye.